Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have a box full of blower goodies. So let's start pulling that thing apart and I'll show you what I picked up. Alright guys, I got the blower on the chopping block here. I'm just going to show you what I picked up. First of all, like I said, I went with a 2.4 pulley. This is a ZZP performance pulley. I got this off eBay from the same guy where I got the blower from. It is the quick connect, quick change coupler system. So basically you go and you press the pulley off of the snout, and then this little hub gets pressed on there, and then the pulley bolts to that, and that just makes it easier if you want to go ahead and switch out pulleys. You could just unbolt them. You don't have to keep having it pressed on and off whenever you want to swap a pulley out. What else I got in here? I have the new coupler. This is the solid coupler that's going to be replacing the spring that's inside the blower now from the factory. You'll see that in a minute once I start breaking this thing apart. And then I got some oil, so I'm going to change the oil in this thing. Got 2 of those, and they give you this little syringe tool to pump the oil into the blower. Alright, so I got the blower propped up here, and I'm just going to show you what needs to be done to remove the snout. Now there are 6 bolts. They're all 10mm bolts. You can see there's one here. That's one down there, one down there, and then there's 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, and 3. Now those are 10mm. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these. This just has like a little bit of silicone in there. Oil doesn't flow through there. That's just to seal it up. Get in here with a pry bar once the bolts are out, and you could kind of just get in here where there's this little notch between the snout and the actual blower itself, and just get in there with a pry bar and pry on that side, pry on the other side, and it should just pop off without issue. All right, so you see I got all the bolts out. Now I'm just going to come in here with the pry bar and pop this thing off. All right, so I got the seal broken free. Basically what I did, I just came in through the other side. I just pried down, and a couple of taps on the pry bar popped right off. So let me get on the other side now. Yeah, we're broken free. Okay, now I'm gonna need 2 hands to pull this off. All right, so I got the snout off. In here now is the old coupler. This thing is just totally shot. You see there's just a little dust in there from the spring was rubbing on the shaft on the blower here. You can see it chewed it up a little bit, but our new coupler is just going to slide over that like so. It's a nice tight fit, and then that's going to couple the blower back to the rotor, and as you can see, the shaft isn't even it's just riding on the pins here, and that's like a tight fit over the pins, so the isolator isn't actually sitting on that shaft, so it shouldn't really matter that it got a little chewed up from that worn out spring. All right, so I got the rest of the blower out of the way. Now I'm just going to go and pull this piece off of here with all the vacuum lines, get it stripped down to just the bare snout itself, and then I'm going to bring this to a shop, and I'm going to have them pull the pulley off and reinstall it. The only thing I'm not too sure about is if it's going to clear. I know this is a ZZP pulley. The Metco pulley, they say the 2.4 Metco pulley is supposed to clear the housing here on the snout, and you don't have to machine it. I'm not sure about this one. It didn't say anything in the description that you need to machine it, but it also didn't say that it will clear without machining, so I'm not sure how it's going to fit. But for now, I'm going to just get this thing cleaned off and clean off the gasket surface, clean this out with some brake cleaner to make it look a little nice, and then go ahead and bring this to the shop to have them swap the pulley and put the coupler on. I got all the gasket material off. I got the oil cleaned out, made sure no pieces were left in the intake. Got it all rinsed out with some brake cleaner. One more thing I forgot to mention. When you have this thing off, you just want to check, give this shaft a good wiggle here and make sure that these bearings don't have any play, especially if you get a blower like mine that actually that coupler was wearing that bad into that shaft like that. You just want to make sure that it didn't kill these bearings. And this is it very, very, very tight, no play at all. So that's good to go. Ready for the new coupler. To clean this gasket off, I went ahead, I was trying to use sandpaper, it wasn't working that well. Razor blade was doing nothing. I used one of these buffer guns, but what I do was, if I'm doing something like aluminum like this, I try to use like a completely worn out disc. And if I don't have that, I just went and I sprayed this with penetrating oil, really soaked it, just so it's not as abrasive, it's more of like a polish. And that helps just really clean this off instead of taking off a bunch of material, because it is aluminum and you don't want to take too much off and score this or make it uneven. So my snout's ready to go. I got my 2 pulleys here. I'm gonna go bring this to the shop to have this pulley changed now. It's probably gonna take a few days. For you, it's gonna be instant. So here's the snout with the new pulley. And there we are. So I got the pulley swapped out. A few things I want to go over. First of all, I said I was going to bring it to a shop and have them do it. I ended up just doing it myself. I brought it to work, and I just ended up just pressing the thing off. The pulley got a little damaged, but that's always going to happen. These things always get destroyed coming off. I got the 2.4 on here, and as I suspected, I did have to go and machine the snout here. And yeah, machining, that's just a fancy word for a grinding wheel with a flap disc and some emery cloth. But I can't take this off right now because basically all I did was, once I got the pulley off there, I went ahead and I pressed the hub on, and then I went and I bolted the pulley to the hub, and I thread locked all these and torqued them down. I just went in here with like a screwdriver, so basically like that, and then I got on here with the Allen key to keep this from spinning, and I torqued them all down with the thread locker, so this pulley isn't going anywhere. And as far as machining this, all I did was I took a grinding wheel with a flap disc, and I just went around, I kind of put it in a vise like this, and I just, with the grinding wheel, I just went up like just like that on the housing all the way around. And then I came in with the actual flap disc after I grounded that down, and I just went around the outside just to kind of smooth everything out, make it all uniform and round. And then after that, I went and with the emery cloth, with like 60 grit emery cloth, I went and I just kind of did one of these and just went around the housing just to round it out and make sure it was all even. And then once that was done, I didn't have to take too much material off because this is the 2.4. I know they make a 2.38 also, but that requires I think a good amount more of material to come off, maybe like a half hour, and I got this right where it needed to be. For the most part, the pulley slipped on maybe halfway down, and then towards the top of the pulley here where it's kind of like beveled, that's where it was getting stuck. So I didn't have to take too much off, but I did machine it down. It fits no problem. It's all torqued down, ready to go. As far as lining this back up, because you can see there's quite a difference in the size of the pulley as far as how far it sticks out. So to get this where I wanted, took one of these measuring calipers again, and I went in here and I just measured the distance between this this piece of the casting and the back of the pulley, and when the old one was on there, and then when I pressed the new one on there, I just pressed it down a good far. I kind of eyeballed it in the general direction of the general spot where I think it was going to fall, and then I just kept taking it on and off the press and just kept coming in here measuring until I got the exact space that I had with the old pulley. So now I know that's where it where the old one was. I'm not going to have any belt alignment issues. That's all good to go. I did remember that I am going to need, I did realize that I'm going to have to go and pick up some block off plates, so I got to look on eBay for some of those, because all the sensors, these holes in the housing here, I'm not going to be using. But this thing is ready to go. It's all cleaned up. I'm just going to go and slide this coupler on right now, I think. You know, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put this in the blower itself first. I think it's going to be easier because that's kind of recessed in. And then when I actually slide the snout on, I'll just be aligning the snout through those holes, and I can just push this down and over the dowel pins. I'm just going to spray some brake cleaner in here, clean this up a little bit, get this this oil out of here. And then the same thing on the front of the blower here where the snout bolts up. I'm going to go in there with the little buffer wheel, clean the gasket off, and then I think I'll be ready to actually pop the snout on, and then I might change the oil before I do that. I gotta see, but right now let's just get this thing cleaned out. Alright, so you see I got the top of the blower cleaned out, all that oil I got out of there. I went ahead and I got the gasket surface cleaned off where the snout is going to sit. I got all that rust, dust, and crap out from inside where the coupler sits. Right now I'm going to slip the new coupler in here and then we'll put the snout on. So really all this thing does, you just line it up in there, slides right down. That's it for that end. And now before I put this on, I'm just gonna go coat this with some silicone. I'm gonna be using ultra gray. This doesn't really see a lot of heat, so you don't need like something high. You don't need red or high heat, you know, black or gray would do. I'm just gonna go ahead and put some gray on there. No oil flows through this. This is just purely the air coming through from the intake going into the blower. So just a thin coat of this stuff will do just to seal it up. All right, so the silicone's applied. Now I'm just gonna drop the snout back on. And all we're gonna do is line these 3 pins here in the opposite holes of the coupler. So it's something like that. Kind of twist this till it lines up. As you can see, the snout is back on, and all that play is gone now that that broken coupler has been replaced. You can see I turn the pulley and the rotors turn at the exact same time. There's no more like clunking and looseness. So this thing's ready to go. We're pretty much ready to go in the car. The only thing I'm waiting on is the cover, and that's been on order. I got it from the same guy I got the blower from. For now, the last thing I'm going to do before I wrap this up is change the oil, so let's get to it. Okay, so I'm ready to change the oil in the blower. Now, I had to do a little research online to see exactly how this was done, and from what I found is that you really don't need to change the oil in this thing. It's really good for a lifetime, 100,000 miles. People really only changes if they have the blower off the car, or if they have the rotors out and they're doing some porting work, then you're going to change the oil. But being this was a warranty takeoff blower and I have it off the car, I am going to go ahead and change it anyway. To do this, you're going to need one of these kits. It's really the easiest way. You get 2 4-ounce bottles of oil, and it comes with this syringe. And all that has to be done is you're going to be removing this 3/16 Allen key here. And once you remove this plug, this is actually the drain and the fill plug. With the syringe, get in here, suck the oil out, and then pump the new oil in. I just went ahead and lifted the whole blower up and tipped it out into this bucket. And you could see I really did not get any oil out of this thing at all. It's supposed to have 5.1 ounces in there. That's maybe an ounce, if that. So what I'm going to do, being I don't know how much is actually still left in here, because if this plug here is raised up, it might not be draining all the oil out. I don't know, maybe the guy just drained it out before he sent it to me for shipping purposes, but I'm just going to go remove this rear cover here and make sure all the oil comes out, and then I'll just apply some new gasket, throw it on, and then I'll pump it full of the 5.1 ounces. Alright, so I got the rear cover off, and you can see the way that this is designed. There's kind of like a lip here for the threads, and then that's why when I was flipping this over, I wasn't able to get all the oil out. So you shouldn't have that problem if you do end up using this, but it's just so much easier to pop the cover off and drain everything out, and you know you got all the oil out, so you're not going to overfill it. But now that's done, I'm just going to throw the cover back on, and then we'll put the oil back in. I just want to note, pulling this off, there is I can't see any kind of like a gasket sealant on the back here. There's a little remnants of like this kind of red stuff going around here. I don't know if that's like a sealant or a glue they use. Maybe these this surface might be just machined very, very flat, so they don't really need something in there. And plus it's only a little bit of oil that this is holding. But I'm just going to go ahead and apply just a very, very thin layer of gasket sealing on this, just because I really don't want this leaking, and I'm not sure what is actually supposed to be on there. But being that there was really nothing on here to begin with, I'm just going to put a very, very thin layer of sealant before I pop this cover on. Alright, so as you can see, I used some Ultra Gray on this, and like I said, it's a very, very thin layer, really translucent, just so it seals that up and make sure there's nothing leaks out. But I also don't want this you know, smearing out and getting into the gears. I think that's going to be fine, so I'm just going to pop this thing back on right now, and I'll put the bolts back in. Okay, so I gave this some time to dry. Now we're ready to put the oil in. So I got my supercharger oil here, and the syringe that they give you has measurements on it, so you know exactly how much is going to be going in. And from what I found online, that number is 5.1 ounces. And this syringe, I believe it's 2 ounce. Yeah, it holds 2 ounces of oil. Okay guys, so I got the 5.1 ounces in there. Unfortunately, my battery went dead right when I was adding the last few ounces. But I filled this up. Like I said, this is 2 ounces, so I did 2 full fill-ups of this, and then I went up halfway and then a little bit more until I got to 5.1. This is all filled up. Nothing came out of the top, so I was kind of thinking that maybe this had to just be filled up to the bottom of the plug, but I got it to the 5.1 and nothing came out. So I would definitely advise using this so you get the exact amount of oil in there that's supposed to go in. So now I'm just going to throw the plug back in here, and then that's going to be it. Alright guys, so as you can see, the blower is finally completed. It's ready to go in the car. I am driving right now, obviously, but I didn't want to leave you without an outro to this video. I just wanted to give you an update of what's going on. So as you can see, I got the pulley on, I got the coupler all finished. Since I actually completed this video, the rest of my parts came in. So I have the lid, I have the fuel rail, all the gaskets, everything pretty much blower related I have. So the blower is all ready to go in the car, but unfortunately the car isn't going to be ready for quite a bit, because you know I do have to do the cam, I do have to do the fuel system, the accessory drive. But just having the blower all done, that's definitely good progress, and it is coming along. So stick with me, more videos will be coming out. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna link it down below. So you can go check me out and see all the stuff I post on there. Any parts that come in, any updates to when new videos are going to be coming out, that is going to be on my Instagram. So you'll definitely want to go follow me over there. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.